the whistleblower, and she's also very active.
I'd like to introduce Nancy Emery, who's also going to be emceeing this opening rally. Nancy is a longtime anti-war activist and a member of Military Families Speak Out.
Oh my God, that's right. I have a phone number.
Hi, welcome, and thanks on behalf of Military Families Speak Out for coming today. I want to introduce our first speaker, Marie Brown from Twin Cities Peace Campaign. There she is, right there. Thank you, Marie.
Hi everyone, it's great to see you here. Ordinary people do not want war. The Iraqi people are sick of the war and the occupation. They want the Americans to leave. The Afghan people are sick of the war. They want the Americans to leave. And we are sick of the wars. We want our government to stop intervening in other countries and to bring our troops home. To make this happen, we must be willing to come out in the streets in large numbers, as they have in Wisconsin, to demand that our government listen to the people. We must come out in large numbers to insist that our tax dollars be used on job programs, healthcare, schools, alternative energy, repair of our own crumbling infrastructure, and other needs that will result in a strong and vibrant economy and a safe environment for our children and the children of the world. We must say loud and clear, we do not want our tax dollars spent on war. I encourage you to try to be on the street on a regular basis. Join the weekly vigil on the Rick Street Marshall Avenue Bridge every Wednesday, or another vigil near you. Take the bus to New York City on April 8th. While it is painful to watch what is going on in Libya, I encourage those of you who might be inclined to support U.S. intervention in that country to think about Iraq. Military intervention by the U.S. did not bring freedom and democracy to Iraq. It only brought pain, death, and destruction of a country. That is the reality of war. So we say, no more war, out of Iraq and Afghanistan, and hands off Libya.
Our next speaker is Angel Beutner from the Welfare Rights Committee and the Minnesota Coalition for People's Bailout.
Hello. We have been in Iraq for over 8 years. We, the citizens, with our tax dollars, have spent billions during this time. I read that about $900 billion of U.S. taxpayers' funds been spent or approved for spending through November 2010 alone. We know this money can be put to better use for our human needs right here at home, right?
Yeah!
We as people need to stand up and say, bring the troops home now, out of Afghanistan, and do not extend war, and money for human needs now. Money for human needs, not for war.
Money for human needs, not for war.
Money for human needs, not for war.
Money for human needs,
Not for war.
Our next speaker is Meredith Abbey from the Committee to Stop FBI Oppression.
Almost every day I turn on the radio and hear Secretary of State Clinton or President Obama criticize Middle Eastern and Northern African countries for criminalizing dissent. It is outrageous that the U.S. is using protecting the right to dissent as an excuse to justify war in Libya, while anti-war activists are targeted right here in the United States for daring to criticize the U.S. government and to protest against the very wars that they are justifying. The investigation of anti-war activists like myself is an attack on our movement and an attack on solidarity and dissent. Unfortunately, we are not alone. Bradley Manning has been tortured and is in solitary confinement. Julian Assange has been threatened with supporting terrorism, both for daring to question the U.S. narrative of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Melania Joya just had her visa to the U.S. denied because her message criticizing the U.S. occupation of Afghanistan rivals the U.S.'s claims of what's really going on there. This is a key time to stand up and speak out. Not only do the people of the world need us to, but we need to raise our voices and defend our right to protest against wars and occupation.
Yes.
From the Midwest to the Middle East, solidarity is not a crime. From the Midwest to the Middle East, solidarity is not a crime. From the Midwest to the Middle East, solidarity is not a crime. From the Midwest to the Middle East, solidarity is not a crime. Thank you very much. Please keep up your demands in solidarity to the people of Libya. Our movement is critical, now more than ever. Thank you.
Next speaker is a longtime Twin Cities activist and journalist, publisher of Southside Pride newspaper, Ed Felien.
Thank you. Frederick Douglass said, power conceives nothing without a struggle. Our elected officials in Washington can ignore protest marches. Bush called 1 million people demonstrating against the invasion of Iraq a focus group. And they can dismiss third-party challengers as doomed, but and Amy Klobuchar is up for re-election next year. And she believes with the DFL endorsement and Obama running for re-election, she's going to coast to an easy victory. She hopes the Republicans will nominate some right-wing kook like Michelle Bachmann, and that people will be too frightened not to vote for her. We deserve better than that. She's keeping her head down so as not to alienate voters. She won't speak out against the wars in Afghanistan and Pakistan, etc. We deserve better than that. We need to support a candidate for the DFL endorsement for the U.S. Senate who will say no to the wars in the Middle East and say no to the FBI harassment. Please join me in urging Colleen Raleigh to run for DFL endorsement for the U.S. Senate. Please sign and help circulate our petition. Run, Colleen, run! Run, Colleen, run! Run, Colleen, run! Thank you.
I'm Nancy Emery from Military Families Speak Out, and I'm here to speak with one voice for MFSO members. We speak together demanding an end to war and occupation that is a drain on the U.S. economy and is devastating our lives. I am dedicating my participation here today to our Minnesota chapter family who just lost a son to the after effects of war. Our hearts go out to them. Up to 50% of soldiers returning from Iraq and Afghanistan have post-traumatic stress disorder or a traumatic brain injury. This is an avoidable cost of war. MFSO speaks with one voice. We decry 8 years of occupation in Iraq. U.S. war and occupation has disappeared from the headlines, but it has not disappeared from MFSO family lives. The financial impact of war has not disappeared. 5 U.S. bases, 50,000 troops, and an estimated over $65 billion in costs devastate our U.S. economy. What could we use over $65 billion for? Housing, job creation, health care, education? MFSO speaks with one voice. Bring the troops home, take care of them when they get here, stop endless U.S. occupation, and prevent future illegal and immoral wars. Bring our troops home now.
In just a few moments, we'll be starting the march.